Christmas Eve festivities in Hong Kong's tourist district turned sour after police fired tear gas to disperse demonstrators.
The so-called silent night protesters occupied roads in Tsim Sha Tsui, prompting police to fire tear gas during a clearance operation. Clashes also broke out in various shopping malls across the city, but one of the fiercest standoffs was at the Harbour City Mall in Tsim Sha Tsui.
A handful of protesters have been arrested in the chaos, and this is the first Christmas Eve Hong Kong had since anti-government protests began in the city back in June. Our correspondent, Leong Wai Kit, is standing by, and he's in Tsim Sha Tsui, and he joins us live right now. You know, Wai Kit, we spoke to you earlier, and we asked you what's happening, and you said depending on the time, you know, things can change very quickly, and as we can see, things have changed very quickly. So what's happening right now where you are?
That's right, Glenda. The latest is that you see the roads behind me are now cleared of people. Like I said, seconds ago, there were large crowds of people. They have been moving forward, retreating, moving forward and retreating based on instructions given by further frontline protesters. But right now, this road is cleared because that area, I understand from various reports that have popped up in Twitter, that water cannons are out in this area. That's near Sogo area. This is Tsim Sha Tsui, a couple of hundred meters away from where I'm standing. Police earlier also fired multiple rounds of tear gas. Glenda, you pointed out earlier that yes, the intensity and violence was confined to the malls. In fact, in Yuen Long, some 30 minutes drive from where I am, police say that a man had jumped from the second floor to the ground floor in a bid to escape police officers during enforcement actions. The man has now been admitted to hospital, but also been charged with assaulting a police officer. Now, I'm going to take a few steps forward to show you a different scene. Now, behind me is one of the most popular places where Hong Kong citizens like to come here to count down to Christmas or New Year, because there is a clock tower that gives people an indication that, you know, festive seasons are approaching. And of course, there's also a beautiful skyline of the Hong Kong city at the backdrop here. So coming towards 12 a.m., that's when most party goers will be gathered, and if there were clashes to break out, then that would pose challenges to the authorities as well as to the crowd here, because remember, we're not only expecting protesters here. I've seen families, party goers, revelers, young and old, gathered here to count down to Christmas. Of course, what happens, again, remains to be seen as of now. Of course, the police are trying to contain the situation, not just in Tsim Sha Tsui, but across Hong Kong.
Wai Kit, so sort of a fluid situation there, but more protests are planned for tomorrow. Can we expect more clashes?
Definitely. Dawn, I'm now going to just walk back, and if I can bring your attention to where I'm pointing, you can see that there's a large group of police officers in riot gear standing at the side of the road. Of course, these officers have been standing by throughout Christmas Eve. Now they're out in full force, understandably because some protesters had earlier blockaded roads and made roadblocks in Tsim Sha Tsui. Now, you mentioned, you asked me earlier, Don, whether we expect any clashes on Christmas Day. If you ask any Hong Kong citizen or any observer, the answer will most certainly be yes. But if you ask me as a journalist, I cannot give you a definitive answer based on observations or analysis, because things can happen anytime. It's very fluid. But if you pose this question to the authorities, they will say that they will not take enforcement actions if protesters are not violent. If you ask the protesters will say that they want to push their political message forward until the government does something, which is to accede to their 5 demands.
Wai Kit, thank you very much for that update. That was our reporter there, Leong Wai Kit, reporting to us from Hong Kong.